Hey everyone, today I'm working with junk mail envelopes and 6x6 paper. So this is one of them. It kind of goes together. I say one of them. So I kind of made this with the same junk mail envelope. Has a little, well, it did have, starting off good, and it has a little journaling spot. Love the little birds. Little bird here. And I tried to pick some paper on this Christmas that I could do some fussy cutting with the piece that I cut off. And this is what I cut off. Not much of it left. But I make fussy cut that ribbon too. But like this little piece here, the bird and those little ornaments and the bow, those were all fussy cut out and then put on this from this 6x6 paper. And it's just a writing spot on the back. The tab on this one came from this 6x6 paper. This is the front of the envelope. And then here is the bottom of the envelope. And this is all the envelope. This is the piece that was cut from the window. And this is the whole piece that was cut from the bottom. And my thinking, how I'm going to use this, all I have is this fall one, but you'll get the idea. So I'm going to wrap it on the edge of a page like this, and then it'll be a pocket for the top piece that I made. And I just backed it with some packing paper, put a little tag in it, tab I should say, and the tab was made also from this scrapbook paper, the piece that I cut off. So I thought that was cute. And then I made another one, of course. And the 6x6 paper on this one had the candy canes. Again, I made the tag from the back 6x6. Here's the window envelope. These are fussy cuts from the paper. And I did stamp on this one. And then for the bottom piece and the piece next to the window here's our pocket. And here is the writing spot. And then this tab was also made from the candy cane paper. This was a cutout, fussy cut. I did some stamping and coloring with watercolor pencils. This one is just stamped. I didn't color that one. And then I took the corrugated cardboard and made the lines on this one. And then on the other one, I made the lines with a stencil like this. On this one, I just did some stamping, put some fussy cuts, a little bit of washi tape. And this side is where I used the stencils, the stencil lines, and did a little rub on for this one. And I thought we could make one of those today for my autumn journal. I did make this one as well. And this is from a skinnier window. It has a little tag. This is from the same. I made this one smaller because I think I cut this paper in half. No, I cut a 2-inch piece off of it and made the little tag that went inside. So this one's 4x6. The other ones are 5x6. Okay, so for my autumn journal, I have well, here's my envelope. I went ahead and I'm going to use one of the bigger, seems like bigger windows. Seems like a lot of the junk mail I get, it's these windows. And so this has been tea dyed. This is the scrapbook paper. I've already cut it down from 6x6. I cut the inch off, so now it's, actually I cut 2 inches off. I don't think this was really a 6x6 piece. It was something that came in some paper that was sent to me. So basically what I did is I cut it down to make it 4.5 by 4 3/4. I believe that's the size. And none of those measurements matter. What matters is that you're going to make it fit in your window. And here is truly a 6x6 paper, and this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut an inch off of this. Put a little bit of Tim Holtz on this. I usually don't use Tim Holtz stuff, but I think I will this time. Okay, so now I have a 5x6, and I'm going to round the corners. I rounded the corners on one of them, and one of them I didn't. And I think I like the rounded corners better. I can still go back and round these, but that's the difference. So I'm going to go ahead and round these because I did like that better. And another idea that I had on this one, because this paper was dark and I knew that if I inked around it, it wasn't really going to show. So I took my scissors. I don't have one of those little things that stresses up the edge. So I took my scissors and just did it like that on the edge. And I think I'll do it on this one because it is pretty dark and it's not going to show my distress ink. So I took it just like this and stressed up those edges. If you tear it, doesn't matter. It's just gonna look even better. Okay, so I said if you tear it, doesn't matter. It's gonna look even better. But I didn't mean that big of a tear. But that's okay too, because that's a happy accident. And we're gonna fix that. But first I'm gonna ink. And I like to distress that edge because it gives it, it takes the ink better, makes the ink show more. And I like that jaggedy look that it gives. I like the grungy of it. So I'm going to ink around this real quick. And then I'm going to fix my tear. And see on the back side where there would be writing, it just gives it so much more character to have that rugged edge. Another point of interest for a blank white writing space. I mean, not that it matters, you're using it for writing, but I think it just adds another layer, and I like that. Here's my tore spot. I can't believe I did. Yeah, I can. I can believe. No, that isn't my tore spot. That's the second tear spot, and I'm leaving that one because it's small, and I do like that. There are times that I'll take ephemera and kind of dip my, like this. I'll just do it. Dip my thing like this to give it a little notch because I like that look. I didn't mean to tear it in half like I did over there, but I do like the little divots out of it like that. I think that because when you ink it, it's really dark in that area, and I like it. I think it looks really, really neat and grungy. Trying not to tear it anymore. Maybe I'll make some little divots out on this side too. And I've actually, before, not just like that, but I've actually took my scissors and went like this to give it a little bit of character. Just kind of cut and pull on it at the same time. See, I like that look. I think that's going to look really vintagey when we get done. Okay. Now let's fix my tear. So I have some of my homemade distressed tape, aged tape, whatever you want to call it. I always put glue on the back or glue stick because it's Scotch tape is what it's made from. And I think during the process of inking it and all the things, it kind of loses some of its sticky. So I'm going to just put it on like that and then fold it around to the back. I used to sell this age tape in my shop, and I put in the description how much came with it, and then somebody wasn't happy with their quantity. So I stopped selling it. I gave her her money back and stopped selling it. Kind of like $4, you get 3 sheets. But it doesn't matter. Okay. I think I want a little bit more because it's not showing up very much on this side. Even though my rip is fixed now, I like the look of it, so I think I'm going to put a little bit more. Maybe I'm going to put it in spots that don't even have a rip. I mean, that's not all it's used for is rips. It's, you know, it's just another added look, added layer. So I'm going to put some there. Maybe I'll put another piece down there because that didn't show up very well. Maybe because it's on those dark flowers. So this age tape, I think I have a video on how to do it. It's just made with alcohol inks and regular Scotch tape. Ooh, doesn't that look cool? Okay, so we've made our accident a good thing. That looks pretty good. I like that. Right, now moving forward with the original idea. So I'm going to open this up on the ends. Seems like when I tea-dyed these, a lot of times that flap, I don't know, I know why a lot of these envelopes come from the office where I work. I do the billing, and these, so, you know, they're open. They don't care how they open them because they don't plan on using it for, you know, junk journals. And they don't know that I do care. So they just rip and tear. And sometimes I glue them back. But sometimes when I tea dye it, I mean, this whole piece just falls off. And that's okay too, because then you get a piece that looks like this. See, there's no flap on that at all, and that's okay. I think it looks great. So, see how that's tore? That's okay. We're going to make that work. And I love the way it's tore. It's good. So, I'm going to open it the rest of the way up here. Now that I've glued back that flap. Open it on the other end. You can do this with scissors too. Just trim a tiny bit off each end. And I'm trying to decide if I want to try to keep this flap or take, I guess I'll keep it. I've already glued on part of it, so I'm going to glue this down too. Fix the other side here. It's kind of coming up. And I am going to even it up with the fold line. I'm not going to take off this jaggedy, but I am going to take off this big piece. And then this has a really nice tear in it. Look at that. That's going to look really good when we ink that up. Okay. So now what I do is I tear it. I usually don't cut it down the middle crease because you can cut it. I like the jagged edge, like I said, so I try to tear it without tearing it in two. You know how I am. I'll probably rip it. Usually that fold has been there so long that it just tears really easily. So now we have our two pieces. This one we're going to fold. We're going to ink it after it's folded. And this will be our over the page pockets for both sides. This piece I'm going to make, because this is a 6x5 now, 6x5, I want to leave some of this showing at top and bottom. So I've been cutting this piece at 5.5. So I'm just going to measure 5.5, and I'm going to fold it up at roughly 5.5. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to tear it again so that it gives, again, the rougher edge. Can't find my bone folder. And I'm just going to... And it looks straight, but it does give that fuzzy edge, and I like that. It takes the ink really well. So this is going to be our tag. Now I'm going to ink this one, even though it's tea dyed. I really like the grungy, so I always add more to the edges. especially that torn edge. I just think that makes it look all kinds of good. And then I also like, even though on this side it looks really good, but I like to ink around on the window too, so that this lip gets good and grungy. I usually do that with one of these brushes. I just push out so that it gets that edge really good. And it doesn't matter if it gets on your window because it will just wipe off. I'm not using StazOn, so it's not going to stay. I mean, it'll just wipe off with a baby wipe. Even StazOn would wipe off if you did it right after you got done inking. And, you know, even if it didn't, I think it would just give it a more vintagey look the way your picture will show through. I'm going to take a napkin and run over this so that I don't get the excess on my other papers. Okay, so now we have our 6x6 and our envelope. And look how pretty those butterflies look through that. And I'm just going to glue the 3 sides. Sometimes I put washi tape on the inside of this lip because this isn't really sturdy. I mean, it's kind of thin. And sometimes I put it on the outside, depending on if our washi tape goes with what I'm doing or not. I didn't really have any autumn, but I did find this kind of washi that I thought looked really cool with this. So I'm going to put it on the outside and see if it makes it thick enough. If it doesn't, I'm going to put some on the inside before I glue my paper down, so I can make sure that lip won't tear. I like this because it had the barcode, and I thought that kind of went along with the envelope theme. You know what I mean? I think that looks good. Okay, so that does help, but because I didn't put it right on the edge, I think I'm going to go ahead and put some on the inside. Not necessarily the same kind. I usually use something I don't really use a lot of, which is this one. And also, you might check to make sure that your window is good and glued down on the inside, especially if you're using a tea-dyed one, because a lot of times that will come loose. Mine feels pretty good, so I'm not going to worry about gluing underneath it. Look away, Laura, because more than likely this is going to be crooked. Look away. Just look away. Alright, that made our lip nice and strong. So now, because I want my rugged edge, I'm going to cut that washi just as crooked as I can to match up with my outside. Now I'm ready to glue it down to my scrapbook paper. And I'm just going to glue it, like I said, on the 3 sides. And believe it or not, this does not have to be perfect. You just eyeball it and do the best you can. It's going to be fine. So there is our window. Here is my tag. Like I said, I already cut that. It's right in there like that. And I tried to pick something where I could fussy cut some pieces out. I didn't really have a lot of fall paper that would work for what I was doing here. So I think I'm just going to, I don't think I'm going to put anything on this. I think I'm going to leave it like it is, because it's very pretty. And when it's taken out, this is really pretty. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put a tag on it, or a tab, from the piece that I cut from this. And how I did it last time was I just folded the piece that I wanted. And I'm going to make a pretty good size tag. Got washi tape stuck to me all over. So I'm just going to fold it like this, because that way my butterfly will be there. This is a pretty good size tag, and I'm just going to cut this end off. And because now it is directional, my backside's going to be upside down, and that aggravates me. So I'm going to cut that Honestly, it probably really doesn't matter. It makes no difference at all. And turn it the right way. So now both pieces are going the right way. And I'm kind of going to make it have little shoulders. I think I showed this in my last video. I just took my my circle punch. Just kind of, I'm holding them together where they'll be the same. And I just kind of stuck in the side and cut a piece off to give it that little shoulder. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And if you wanted them to be exact, you could fold it, you know, don't crease it, but fold it and do both sides at the same time to where they would be exactly right. I'm not worried about it. Not going to do that. I am going to rough this up a little bit. So now I'm going to ink the edges. I forgot to say, this was inspired by Margaret again. I love her. She does so much cool stuff. And I don't know, she did this piece, and I don't even know if I'm doing it like she did it. But again, it's inspiration. She inspired me to make this. She inspired me to make this. So, see where I want to put my tag. Or tab. Tag. I get those confused. Or messed up. I think I want to put it towards the top. So how I've been doing it is I go ahead and glue down this, you know, either side, whatever. Doesn't matter. Kind of situate it like I want it. I want it like that. Turn it over and glue this piece onto it. So there's your cool looking tag. Both writings are the same way. I really, I might, even though this is dark, I think I might stamp a number there. I mean, what would my video be without stamps where they didn't belong? Just real light. I know you probably can't even tell the difference, but I can, and I love it. And I'm going to stamp this side too. I want to put those on there too. I don't know why. Just feels right. Okay. Now I feel like I need something right there. See, that just made all kinds of difference, didn't it? Yep. Now it's perfect. And I think I might want to do it on this side too. Like that made any difference, but I still like it. Now I'm going to put an eyelet in it. May not even hang anything from it. I just like how it looked. She did this. She uses a lot of eyelets, and I like that. I like that look. And I will link Margaret's video below where she did these. Isn't that cute? Okay, so I did find, I might cut some of those leaves out, but I don't know. For this, I'm going to do just a little bit of stamping. Of course I am. Probably should take my tag out, shouldn't I? And really, I think the last time I did this, I did my stamping before I glued it down. I don't think it makes any difference at all, but I think that's how I did it. And then I have some little numbers here. I like to stamp them. I think I want some more of these little stars. Tag and see what we got. Need to wipe off where I've put, ink on my window, so don't get that everywhere. I picked out a little Tim Holtz guy. Isn't he cute? And most of his stuff, yes, he's always sitting. So I'm going to let him sit right there on the edge of that window. And I think I'm going to cut out one of these pumpkins. Maybe that's what he's leaning on, a pumpkin. Let's see what that looks like. Will that be cute or not cute? What do you think? Yeah, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to cut out one of these leaves too. He needs a leaf on his pumpkin. Like a little label or something? Is that what it would be? Does he look like a Watson? I love it. That's funny. I meant to put something up higher, but now I'm thinking I want to put it down here. His little pumpkin. I think he gave 46 cents for his pumpkin. What do you think? Really, as vintage, this little outfit, that was probably really high. 46 cents for a pumpkin way back then. I'm going to color this. I don't like all that white. And I also think I would like the numbers better if they had a little bit of script on them. I'm probably going to ruin this and I won't even use it. I don't know. I might. Yeah, I'm going to use it. Okay. And I also think maybe I need a little piece of something back there. What do you think? Yep, we do. Maybe we need it all the way down. I don't know if I'm going to use the little piece or the big piece. So a lot of my stamping, you see, I have already covered it up. That's okay. That's the fun of it. You just keep going till you find something you're happy with. See, that really made a difference, didn't it? No. Now what am I doing up here? Nothing? Am I going to leave it? Oh, I got an idea. I was wanting to fuss cut some leaves from the piece that I took from that. But when you don't keep track of your things, you can't find it. What I really wanted to put in here was some of Laura's digitals that she made for me. Are these not beautiful? But they were too wide. I couldn't, no matter how I did my envelope, I wouldn't have enough lip around the edge. But I am going to use these. I mean, you could do it like this versus the vertical. And that's what I was going to do. But it didn't work out for me. But they are beautiful. Okay, so if I could find, aha, look at there. All you have to do is flip it over. I'm going to fussy cut some of these leaves and stick them up there, I think. And I won't make you watch that nonsense. Okay, I don't think I love it, but I'm okay with it. So there's that piece. So now to decorate this and the tag. This one, I inked around and then I glued it to packing paper. Just to make it a little sturdier. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to do that. Because, I mean, you can write on the back of that. See, it's pretty. But I think I like the looks of the torn packing paper behind it. So, even though I'm probably not going to cover all of it, all of the back, I'm going to at least have, you know, the layered look to it like this. I like that. So I'm going to glue that down just with a glue stick. And, I mean, you could sew around this too. You know, I noticed I haven't been sewing that much on my projects lately. That's kind of sad. I love to sew. Well, I don't love to sew, but I like the way it looks. It seems like the projects I've been doing lately, I didn't have a lot of sewing. So I'm okay with this because I like the grunginess of the envelope and the packing paper. I mean, if this bothers you, do like I did on the other ones and make your packing paper big enough to cover the whole piece. I just wanted to use what I had on my desk, so I didn't worry about that. For the tab, I used part of the scrapbook paper on the leaves. This time, I think I'm going to use something a little different. I had this piece left over from another project, and it was just laying here, screaming, use it. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't think I want the leaves on this one. I think I want something more like this. I think I want the same shape as I had on this one. Only this time I'm going to let this stick up a little bit. Really no reason that I did that other than just to give it a different look. Doing something just a little bit different. I want a little bit more of that tore off. And off the bottom too. I think I just want a little bit showing like this. Like, you know, when you used to, they had packages. You get a package, it was wrapped in this brown packing paper, the whole thing. So maybe like when they took this off, they ripped off the packing too. Does that make sense? Young people be like, I've never seen a package wrapped in brown. I promise they used to. Now I'm going to put a little eyelet. Again, not going to hang nothing from it, I'm sure. I just like the look of it. Now I'm probably just going to do some stamping. Like, I'm going to keep it like you would see stamping on an envelope. I think that's the kind of stamping I'm going to do on this one. And there's our tag. Isn't it cool? I love it. So that was easy enough. I guess I can go ahead and do this pocket too. What I think I'm going to do is just the same thing. Basically, I'm going to do some stamping. I don't really want to cover up the barcode because I like it. Maybe I'll just do something like this because this is the one that's going to be for fall, my fall journal. So, I mean, field notes would make sense, right? I mean, isn't that outside? I could wait to decorate this when I'm actually putting it in the journal. But I think just for fun, I'm going to do a little stamp right there for now. I am going to ink around this, of course. I love old envelopes. I love using them. I just think they look so cool. I think on the other side, I was going to do one of the rub-ons, but I really think I want to wait because I'm not sure. Maybe I want to use some of the, ooh, I got to stamp a number. Some of the scrapbook paper, you know, to highlight it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. So I'm not going to do the other side for now. You know, and who knows, I may end up putting some more fabric on it, depending on the journal that I'm putting it in. So I think I'm going to wait on that part. But I think we got a really good start on it with our 2 writing spots. And I think I'll keep this a writing spot. I won't turn it into a pocket because I like how the back looks with that age tape and the rough edges. I really like that. So I'm going to, this will be 2 writing spots for my journal. And then I'll probably just clip it in. I won't glue it. So there, what was his name? Oh, Watson. And there is 2 tags, 3 pockets, and a large journaling space, large writing space. I think that's pretty good for 1 envelope and 1 junk mail and a couple of pieces of 6x6 scrapbook paper. That's not bad. Love messing with junk mail envelopes, guys. I hope you do too. I hope you liked this video and got some inspiration. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.